I agree. Sleep is overrated. Thank you, Brian. Hey, Max, how you doing, buddy? We are just getting started. I will be solo tonight, so no Canadian company, unfortunately. But we'll try to have some fun. There's a lot of stuff that happened, and it's all kind of hilarious in its own little way. Hunter Biden sex tapes apparently got leaked, and I was a little bit like confused, like where did this all come from? To my understanding, it's something to do with this laptop. I don't know, but it was like posted to a Chinese website or like news agency. So I'm like, wow, the Chinese have Joe Biden's son sex tapes. And you imagine if they release that stuff, then maybe they have even more, and they'll just like hold that over someone's head, which is funny because there was this whole like insane conspiracy theory, and some of you might know about it, where they said that Vladimir Putin had Trump sex tapes of Russian hookers pissing on him, and that was why we were being sold out to Russia over piss tapes. It's all kind of funny when you think about it, right? It's like life's just one big giant parody. Nuns are doxed. What? Yeah, maybe we'll start off with that one because that's a little bit of an easier story to jump through. Hey, Spin, how you doing? Uh, do you wonder if Roger Stone is behind this at all? I feel like this is something he'd mastermind. No, honestly, like I'm not one of those people who goes ahead and like says Roger Stone and Giuliani are like brain damaged. To be careful. But I don't think they're smart enough to pull off something of this nature. Now, what I do think is that, when they actually got emails, right, that showed Hunter Biden was basically working out equity with this Chinese company. Companies in China are run with permission of the government. The government has like the final say in anything those companies do over there. But I mean, as a compliment to Roger, I actually tried to meet him when I worked in advertising. I consider him to be an evil genius. I don't know. I just look. So as far as like the laptop goes and everything, simple solutions usually the right one. Hunter Biden has a serious crack problem. He probably dropped the computer off at a repair store where he thought nobody would notice him. It would get fixed. He'd pick it up. But the dude's on crack like all the time. Was probably so fucking high, couldn't even remember where he left it. Probably gave the wrong number and everything. And then just went ahead and bought a new laptop because, fuck it. He's got so much money. Now, all the stuff coming off of the laptop, I mean, look, the guy who runs the store, apparently he gets possession of it in 90 days when it gets left there. Just went out and went through the hard drive, saw the stuff on there, called the FBI. Nothing happened with the FBI. And eventually he reached out to Rudy Giuliani. I don't know how. I don't know why. But it sounds like he reached out to Rudy Giuliani because he was like a conspiracy theorist and a Trump supporter, and he probably thought, oh, if I give this to Rudy will be able to get it out to the public. Terrible decision. I mean, it did work, but apparently Rudy Giuliani's been sitting on this for months because he wants to use it for the election, not so much to actually do anything with it. But the FBI's had it for about a year or so. That's why I don't think it's this big conspiracy plan or anything. But what I do think is when the story broke, right, you had all these major outlets come up with all these different reasons why they weren't going to talk about the story, right? So what they did was when it started to blow up, social media started trying to censor the story. That made everything worse because nobody understands Streisand effect, apparently. So we then jump into Borat, Sacha Baron Cohen, running this prank on Rudy Giuliani. I guess he's doing this fake interview, and there's a microphone. The person doing the interview, pulls the microphone out. It untucks his shirt, so he tucks it back in, and then Borat comes running out, saying "Don't take her, she's too old for you." Something really stupid like that. But I'm sitting there going well, hold on, man. he already knew what he was going to say. It's clearly a setup. It was clearly meant to look improper. And I mean, if you look at the actual video from Borat, it's just him tucking, getting his shirt tucked back in after it becomes untucked because the microphone gets pulled out. But they immediately ran with that story about how Rudy Giuliani was trying to hook up with a 15-year-old girl because the girl in the video said she was a teenager or something. But it gets even worse because there was this college student, right, who runs like the college Democrats at his school, and he did this like satire text message between Rudy Giuliani and Ivanka Trump. It's fake. It's 100% fake. The guy who did it even admitted it was fake. But you had all these media outlets run with that story too, that not only was Rudy Giuliani a potential pedo, but also he was hooking up with the president's daughter, right? Is it really nasty shit? Okay. And then after that, somehow Hunter Biden's sex tapes get leaked. So it's just like every step of the way, the bar just keeps getting lowered and lowered and lowered. But the issue here is, I mean, look, obviously revenge porn is bad. It is illegal. So it makes sense that they would try to shut down stories about it, in the sense that it is technically revenge porn, in the sense that it's not made to be distributed and it's being sent out online. Now, their reaction is insane because we know for a fact, right, based on the way that they ran the stories on Giuliani, they don't give two shits about any sort of standard, well, other than the double standard that they have. But you have photos that came off that laptop. You have emails that came off that laptop. There's been no denial from the Biden campaign about it not being true. In fact, we had a Biden surrogate come out and say nobody's arguing that the emails are inauthentic. But you still have people on social media that are just like head first straight into a wall to defend Biden, denying that the emails are real, saying that they're fake. It's all deep fakes, it's all forgeries. Well, now you have a sex tape. Right. So unless they got some Russian dude who looks exactly like Hunter Biden and got that guy to take crack, it's impossible. But at a certain point, you're kind of like, it seems like the dude's crackhead son just fucked up, dropped the laptop off where he shouldn't have, which is, on him. And, because he left it there, all this stuff started coming out. And obviously it's coming out now, right at the election time, or, just weeks before the election, because it's an October surprise. You put it out there while it's fresh in everyone's mind. And then when they go to vote, they remember, oh, well, I mean, this dude's son was apparently like taking in all this money on his behalf, and he smokes crack and and there are sex tapes. And I would, because I was talking with my wife and everything, Jasmine, but just in case you were confused by that. But she was telling me like, I don't think you should bring someone's kids into things. I was like, well, obviously his dad brought him into it by using him as an intermediary to basically sell influence, right? He would sell his influence, his son would collect money, and then his son would give the dad money as gifts, right? Which, pay-to-play politics has been something that we've all acknowledged has existed for a very long time. So, like, we're all going to pretend that Biden became filthy fucking rich by not doing it. Yeah, and I mean, it's bullshit, right? Everyone kind of knows. It's kind of something where it's like, yeah, we want to fix the system, but, they're going to give politicians a pass on it. It was the shutting down of all this information. And, the only reason why the Hunter Biden sex tapes came out, I guarantee you, is because the left and, their media arm was just like, fuck you, right? Was going to run these stories about how Rudy Giuliani was potentially a pedo and trying to bang the president's daughter. And I'm sure he saw that as the man who has all of this information. And he was like, okay, I'm going to leak this to this outlet. Fuck you. I mean, these are all like the simple solutions to me. So, I mean, I don't know. Max, I'm actually enjoying the political episodes. You're doing a good job. Thank you, Max. I appreciate that. I know politics aren't for everyone, but like all this stuff coming out has just been insane. And even the doxing of the nuns is political because there were nuns that went to a MAGA rally. So obviously their names and their businesses should be posted online, right? Like fucking insane people. I feel like the Hunter Biden effect is bigger than the Streisand. I mean, at this point, yeah. It originally starts with the Streisand effect, but the Streisand effect was nowhere near as big as this. I used to work in a computer repair store. People drop off all sorts of things they should not. Yeah, dude, like hard drives full of porn. But again, that's the issue, right? Like we all know this stuff exists. Like none of us are like insane in the fact that we think that our politicians are all uncorrupt beings. Like Joe Biden's filthy fucking corrupt. 47 years in politics, enriched himself year over year. And then you have all this other stuff coming out, and I would be like, dude, just come out and say, my son was doing these terrible things. He leads a very messed up life. I try to be a good dad, but, he's not part of my administration. He will not be a part of my administration. And, we'd call bullshit, but like no one could attack him because you'd be attacking his son, and his other son, died of brain cancer. So the media could have flipped that directly at Trump, directly at Giuliani, painted them as terrible, awful human beings, which they already do. Instead, they went for the censorship route, and now everybody wants to talk about it. It's just dumb. I think you're hiding something in that sling. That's the real conspiracy. Actually, I'm just gonna do it for just a little bit so I can get things pulled up here. He's hiding combos. Okay, so let's get into the Nun story. I gotta find that one really fast. I have all the Hunter Biden stuff pulled up, but I forgot to pull up the Nun one. So, that's in the chat for my reputation. Let me get that ready though. Anyways, I feel like I gave the rundown to the Hunter Biden stuff. We'll go over like some articles and some tweets about it from Glenn Greenwald and Matt Taibbi, who are really funny. Okay, here we go. It's actually from Tug. He tweeted this out, so let me pull it up for y'all. Oh, hold on. Did you see the new ERB? I did. And I used to really like epic rap battles of history. And then in 2016, like I didn't vote in 2016, right? I didn't vote for Clinton. I didn't vote for Trump. I didn't like either of the candidates. And I was just like, whatever. And then I saw the epic rap battles, and I was just like, oh, okay. Like it's so clear who you actually want to win and everything. And I was like, all this stuff about Biden, and none of it's really in the epic rap battle. Like all the stuff people criticize him for from the right, like is just gone from that video. And I was like, I mean, it's better if you watch it compared to the one they did with Clinton and Trump. It's better, but I mean, it's pretty clear, they don't want to give too many good lines to the president. It's because they know how to flip things for both sides. But when it becomes political for them, they just don't give a shit, right? They know who they want to win, and that's sad, right? It is. It started with the Romney versus Barack Obama, and I was like, that's pretty fair. I mean, obviously Romney's a fucking pasty faced dude and everything, and it was funny seeing like Abraham Lincoln slap them both across the face at the end. Then you go to the Clinton one, and Abe just slaps Trump twice or something. It's just dumb. And then you go into this one, it's just like, well, like all this stuff, like, dude, come on. I don't know. Other thing, I watched the SNL parody debate, and I was like, it's okay. But I messaged this to Jasmine. I messaged it to a couple other people. And we watched the Joe Rogan debate. The three-parter. This one's a little bit shorter. Why don't we start it off on a fun note, and then we'll jump into the nuns being doxed? Because I think if you saw the SNL debate, I'm telling you right now, this one, the Trump Biden debate parody that this guy did, it was up the very next morning, and it is a million times better. Like a million times better. Okay, hold on. I'll get it ready right now. I have an undoxing story pulled up, and we'll cover some pop culture stuff. Don't worry, I got a full itinerary on schedule for everyone. Kai, yeah, I agree. They should let people read it and make their ideas instead of covering it, because that would make them think it is real. Yeah, no, and the thing is, you do have some people on the left pointing that out, right? Let people just talk about it, because whatever. But the vast, overwhelming majority and all of these media outlets are coming up with excuses why they don't have to cover the story, which is just disgusting. And at this point, you have confirmation, you have verification, and it's bullshit because of how many stories that they have run from anonymous sources, right? And they go, well, New York Post is a tabloid magazine. I'm like, yeah, but The Atlantic is owned by a Biden mega donor. And they ran multiple stories from unnamed sources with information in there that's verifiably false, right? And it's just like, well, I mean, we get it. They're full of shit. I mean, and that's the one thing that's actually good about Trump's presidency, on top of everything else, like the foreign policy, the peace deals, and everything, which are amazing. They really are amazing. You know, say whatever you want about Trump and the way he acts over here. His ability to make these peace deals overseas is really incredible, and it spits in the face of every president that's come before since basically fucking Carter, like Reagan, Bush Senior, Bush, Bill Clinton, Bush Jr., Obama. Like, their foreign policy is all the same, and it's all a fucking train wreck. And then you go into Trump, and it's just like, okay, we're going to make peace. And they go like, oh, no, they're going to fight forever. If you do that, the world's going to end. And it's like, no, we have like actual peace deals now. But aside from all of that, one of the best things the Trump administration has done is expose just how fucking biased and totally up the ass of Democrats that a lot of these outlets are, right? Like fucking CNN, right? Mask is just completely on the fucking table now, right? They don't even try to hide it. NPR, fucking publicly funded or whatever, like just coming out and saying, oh, we won't be bringing up the Hunter Biden story because, reasons, and it wouldn't be good for our audience. Well, your audience is me, apparently. Run the fucking story, bitch. And I love the shit about how, New York Post, you guys remember, but the National Enquirer, actual tabloid trash, broke the story of John Edwards. This was like way back. This is when Obama was running for his first term, I believe, or maybe it was the second one. They broke the story that John Edwards had a secret love child. So, broken clocks and shit. If the evidence is there, talk about the fucking story. Don't just go like, oh, this is just clearly Russian misinformation. Drop the Russia shit. Oh man. Sorry. Let's go. Let me just let me pull up the debate parody. Then I'll read your chats, and then we'll jump into the nuns. Okay, share audio this time. I don't have my backup staff with me, so I have to make sure that everything's correct. Oh, one thing I didn't do. I was watching horror movies with Jasmine, so I didn't have a chance to get the background queued up just yet. So let me get that ready. By the way, guys, I just want to say we are monetized now. And we really do appreciate all the support you have given us. So if you have an issue with the ads being run on some of the videos, let me know. I've tried recording some videos and just uploading them outside of the streams. I did some on the debate recaps. I did some on some other stories. I want to go into doing at least like 1 or 2 of those a day moving forward. Monday probably be the only real exception. Monday, maybe like Friday or something. But you'll see that there's going to be a lot more content coming out. So if you could do me a favor, make sure you are subscribed and that you do turn on the notification bell. Reach out to me if you have any issues with any issues at all with the ads being run on the videos, because I do want to. I like that we can monetize, but I will take I'll take like those ads off if it means like you guys will watch those videos more. Whatever really helps out, because I'm still trying to make sure the channel has proper growth behind it. We skyrocketed, we hit a little bit of a dip, and we're starting to turn it around. So I definitely want I want to do anything I can to keep that momentum going. Anyways, as you can see, I'm just talking to stall for time here. All right, let's see. Where's that thumbnail? There we go. I need to make sure this is ready before I pull up the video. StreamYard is going so slow with this. There we go. This is from the same people that did the Joe Rogan, Trump and Biden parody debate. So it's going to be good. But again, they had this up like the very next morning. And when you compare it to SNL had all this time to write their shit out, just blows them out of the fucking water.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the final episode of America's Nightmare. I'm Kristen Welker, and I will cut a bitch. To my left is President Donald Trump.
Hunter Biden, China, Russia, excuse me.
And to my right, former Vice President Joe Biden.
I'm like Popeye, because my body is made of old spinach.
President Trump, over 200,000 people have died of COVID-19. How do you think you handled this crisis?
Look, I had the Chinese zombie virus, and I had a fantastic time. I'm immune now. Some of these doctors even say I'm immortal. I could live 200, 300 years in the future. These doctors don't even know how long I could live. 200,000 people died, okay? But they were saying 200 billion people were going to die. This could have been worse than the dinosaurs. I prevented a mass extinction.
200,000 people have died, and he's responsible for that. He's responsible for every person that's ever died ever. Every insect that's ever gone night-night is because of him. I go outside, I look at the leaves on the trees, and all the leaves are dying. And when I was in office, we kept the leaves alive. Now, if we want to get out of this, we got to start wearing masks. And we got to put the masks in our mouths.
But you don't talk about what I've done. I gave them masks, goggles, fins, snorkels. I mean, everybody's scuba diving now. It's fantastic. And we have two companies making the vaccines right now. We have Toys R Us and Applebee's. They're going to be serving the vaccines with very spicy buffalo wings.
What do you say about people who won't take the vaccine?
For people who don't want to take a vaccine, we're going to take all the needles and hide them in their beds. And if that doesn't work, we'll take the needles, we'll put them in their little flippy floppies. So when they walk around, they'll get little pokes in their footsies. And if that doesn't work, then I promise I'll sneak up behind every American and I'll give them a little poke. Because every American deserves a little pokey from Uncle Joey.
We have to move on to the next topic. I'd like to remind each candidate that it's important
That's a link to this
provide
video.
Specific answers, but instead attack each other's character like senile old men fighting over a pudding cup.
I love pudding.
He's a politician. He doesn't want you to have any pudding. He'll take all your pudding away. Where was the pudding when you were in office, Joe? You had 8 years to distribute pudding. Where was the pudding?
We were just starting to roll out the pudding plan.
You want pudding, you vote for Donald Trump.
President Trump, let's talk taxes. You pay less taxes than a Pizza Hut delivery driver.
Look, I've been paying my taxes since I was the smallest fetus you've ever seen. I prepay my taxes. I buy them in bulk at Costco. I get the early bird discount. You should ask Joe about the early bird discount. He's very old.
That's a lie.
You want to talk about money? You should ask him about his son and the money they get overseas. They suck it up like a vacuum.
Look, that's a lie. Just because my family was overseas making money doesn't mean they made money overseas. The only time I ever made money overseas is when I was a boy traveling the ancient seas, trading salts for camel hide.
Why don't you ask him about Hunter Biden and the laptop from hell? It's Satan's laptop.
That's malarkey. This is all Russian disinformation. That computer is Russian. That's not even my son. That's just two little Russian men standing on top of each other.
Let's talk race. And I do expect both of you to fuck this up.
I've done more for black people than Abraham Lincoln. I've done more than Tupac. Some people are calling me 3-Pac. And I remember when I first heard of Black Lives Matter, I was walking around and they were grabbing police officers, wrapping them in blankets and putting them in ovens, calling them pigs in blankets. Then they'd take them out and serve them as little tiny tasty treats at children's birthday parties. It was disgusting.
Let me tell you a story. I remember when I was first coming to this country on the Mayflower, I met a little black boy named Tonto. He was tending to the horses by the creekside, and all the little village people were baking their bread. And little Tonto came up to me, and he said, "Uncle Joey, I want you to help my people." And I said, "Tonto, I promise that one day I'll be a politician, and I will do absolutely nothing for 47 years until one day, when I'm on death's door, knocking on death's door, I'll run for president and I'll try to change everything overnight." And then I remember there was a little skirmish down by the fire, and Tonto got swept up in the wind, and I never saw little Tonto again. But I promised him that I'll make life a goody time.
You know, he talks about equality, but look what he's done with immigration. It's terrible.
Oh, come on. You put kids in cages.
But you built the cages.
Yeah, we built the cages for the kiddies, but he put the kitties in the cages.
You were vice president for 8 years. You never put the kids in cages, so I had to do it.
But I promise when I'm president, we're going to make those cages bigger and better. We're going to put a big wheel in the cage.
He broke there.
So the kitties can run inside like a little kitty hamster and have exercise.
Look, we both have terrible answers
We
for
both
this.
have bad answers to this question.
Look, I ended catch and release. That was Obama's program.
Catch and release would have worked if we had did it right. We're supposed to catch immigrants at the border with a fishing rod, reel them in, and then if they're under 12 inches, we set them free.
We know the climate is changing. We also know both of you are dying. So how will you help our climate in a way that you will not even live to see?
We have the best air. We have the best water, so clean you can almost drink it. We have the best dirt, so clean you can drink it. And he wants to make the climate yucky. He wants to end fracking and take away American jobs.
Look, I love fracking. I remember when I was a little tadpole, I met a black boy named
It
Frick
really
Frack,
is.
and we go fracking all the time. And what he said, it's frack o'clock.
Now, final question for each of you. If you are elected, what would you say to the hundreds of millions of people that wished you died of COVID-19?
I would say, we've seen great progress. And if you give me a few more years to collect the final Infinity Stone, I'd snap my fingers and make the universe great again by killing half of all living things.
Look, we need to come together. He sees this country as red and blue, but I don't see red. I don't see blue. I don't see. I got cataracts. We ought to choose science over fiction, hope over fear, butter over cheese, decency, honor, respect, cabbage and toothpicks, poopy napkins and chocolate pudding.
You vote for Joe, he'll give you pudding to China.
We're going to go fracking for pudding.
Well, that does it for the final presidential debate. I hope tonight shows the tens of undecided voters in this country that perhaps there's one professional, modest person that America deserves as its leader. And that person is me. Good night, everyone.
So yes, the Trump impersonation is like completely on point. He's gonna make it yucky. I was like, fuck, man. Oh, dude, that is a perfect impersonation of Trump. And again, I watched the SNL parody, and like, thing is, I don't mind SNL's parody. Like, they get overtly political and they're completely one side on so many things. But generally the jokes land, right? Like, it just seems like lately it's gone like worse and worse and worse. But it's like, I turned on cable because like we never watch cable here. Now I flipped over to the news because having trouble sleeping because I was in a little bit of pain. And Fox is on, right? And Fox is doing this clip from the SNL opening in which they made a joke about Joe Biden flip-flopping on the fracking thing, which we did a video about and everything. Trump did like this whole thing after Biden challenged him to put it online, which is just funny. And it was like, either yes or no, depending on which state I'm in. I'm like, okay. I mean, like, dude, yeah, we get the joke, but like, it was just so kind of like, I watched that. I was just fucking dying. It has nothing to do about who I support and who I dislike. Just everything fucking landed there. And that was a great parody. I wish that they get those guys on to do impersonations of Trump like moving forward. But let's be honest, they'd rather have like some D-lister like Alec fucking Baldwin show up, do a terrible fucking impersonation, and then just say, "Oh, Alec Baldwin's on tonight." Like, fucking hell. SNL's gone so far downhill. The only time I saw when Eddie Murphy came back and he burned Bill Cosby, that shit was great. Let me catch up with some of these comments. Sorry, guys. You got some great takes, bro. Keep it up. Thank you. I missed that comment earlier, and I want to highlight this one again. Yeah, I agree. They should have let people read it. Yeah. Okay. Let me get caught up. Sorry. Here we go. Remember when BuzzFeed stuff got blown up by CNN? No one seemed to question that. Yeah, and BuzzFeed had to like walk their shit back. And the thing is, I'm sure some idiot out there is going to make the argument, well, look at all the times we were wrong. I had to walk something back, so we're being extra super careful now. If it's anti-Trump, front page everywhere. I was like talking about this, on the trending tab, I saw the LA Times fact checking about like the 2.2 million for COVID and everything. And I'm like, that shit is out there. The Intercept like has an article from March talking about how 2.2 million people could die of COVID. That's why we were supposed to have a 2-week shutdown to flatten the curve, which is extended out for months on months and months. And you still have people saying, I want to keep seeing shut down. Right. And now they're saying, well, and 2.2 million people, if 2.2 million people weren't going to die, why the fuck did we shut everything down? Right? Enough with these fucking stupid ass games from these people. And then they do a fact check on Biden saying, no, Biden won't ban fracking. It's like he's on video several times saying he will. So don't do like a fact check and we go, no, he won't, because his latest documented answer was that he wouldn't do it. Which counters the statement from 3 weeks prior where he said he would. Fuck you people. Like, honestly, it's so bad. Oh, man. Hi, Crow. I want your take on this, but there's an artist challenge called Blacktober where people are drawing black characters, but they are blackwashing anime characters. What do you and Jazz think? I'd have to ask Jazz what she thinks. I don't really care. In the sense, like, if it's fan art, it's fan art. I don't give a shit. Now, if it's bad fan art, I'm going to make fun of it. But, like, some of the Blacktober stuff I saw was literally them taking, like, an image from, like, Fairy Tale and just darkening the skin color of the character. I'm like, okay, well, that's not really art. I mean, that's just, You think instead you'd want to highlight, prominent black characters that you see in anime. Actually, and to bring that up, I got really pissed off because somebody a while back, I think it was during Black History Month, they highlighted Scar from Full Metal Alchemist. And they were like, these Fallen were all black and were oppressed. I'm like, these Fallen were not black. They weren't. They're stand-in for like the Middle East. But you got like Killer Bee from Naruto and everything. You have other black characters in anime. You could really highlight them. But if you want to do like a fan art of like Luffy as a black dude, I mean, go for it. Just be careful because you're going to get dragged through the fucking mud for racial stereotypes for anything. Give them a little throat, the racial stereotype. Just be careful. Just be very careful there. But like I've seen some of it, I'm just like, well, if you're just going to darken the character's skin, you're not really going to change anything. That's not really fan art. Like if you're going to draw a whole unique take on the character, I say go for it. Like, I mean, it doesn't bother me really. Let's see here. Carter is probably the only president who had luck with Middle Eastern peace deals, as ironic as that might seem. Yeah, it is. It is. But like, he actually said it. Carter was responsible for Jordan, Egypt getting along better with Israel. Yes. Carter was not a good president, like in general. He had some weird fucking takes on things, but he was very committed to actual peace agreements, and he defied a lot of the conventional intelligence bullshit that was going on there. And I hate that they say, well, intelligence officials has come for you. Intelligence officials got us into the Iraq war. Try do better. Do substantially better than telling what the intelligence community thinks when they're wrong in the grossest fucking ways possible that somehow leads to us shoving our dicks into a country, dropping troops into said country, and just murderalizing people for resources, right? And there was a time when I was like, oh yeah, I mean, I guess if they said it must be true. But like at this point, like the Iraq war, we know that was all bullshit. We know it was all fabricated. We know our intelligence community got us into that mess and are still there. One thing like Biden brought up during the debate, and I don't know if I really talked about it too much. I know I said it on stream. He was like, well, if anyone had 200,000 people dead, they should not be running for. Well, first off, I think it's really gross and disgusting to say that every single person who died of COVID, that the blood's all on his hands. It's a fucking pandemic, you decrepit old piece of shit. But how's this? The Iraq War, you voted for it, you fucking jackass. But later I changed my mind. No. Use your own standard. You have all the blood of all those people on your hand. You actively helped it happen. Okay? It's amazing to me how many times Biden said, like, oh, that was a mistake and we'll do better. It's like, you made so many fucking substantial mistakes that ruined people's lives. Why the fuck should you be in charge of anything? I wouldn't put you in charge of a fucking Wendy's, dude, because like at least Wendy's makes some decent fucking fries and shit. Like maybe I put you in charge of like a steak and shake, right? Because let's be honest, it ain't that good. I mean the shakes are, so like I wouldn't let you anywhere near the fucking blender, but like I wouldn't put you in charge of anything with how many fucking mistakes you've made. Like you were a fucking segregationist. You still support your segregationist friend. You fucking piece of shit. Fucking the crime bill. Making it so that you couldn't write off student loan debt in bankruptcies, right? The Iraq fucking war, the entire Obama-Biden foreign policy, which created an active slave trade in Libya, you goddamn psychopaths. And you're going to sit there and go, like, Donald Trump and they're happy. Your entire fucking career is just enriching yourselves and destroying people's lives. Go fuck yourself, dude. Like, honestly. Oh, man. Dude. Crow, if I ever decide to run for president one day, you will be part of my cabinet. Please. Please. Dude. Can you just imagine them pulling up all these old YouTube clips and just be like, he called people cunts. He's such a sexist misogynist. Wait, fuck off. Seriously, fuck off. And actually, I just want to be very clear. I do think men tend to be bigger cunts than women. It's just women tend to be nastier bitches than most men are. Yeah, it's a thing, right? Whatever. It's not everybody. It's just it tends to be that pattern of behavior. Anti-Trump front page, but put it everywhere and let everyone know anti-Biden, lock it and put it away, throw it to the sun. Yeah, no, like, look, it's annoying because SNL equals 2020 if it was a TV show. Oh, man. Look. It's like any story that they run about Trump that's negative, it just gets front page access immediately. They're not going to question it. They're not going to care. They'll correct it later if they're really forced to, and they'll do it on like page fucking 58, right? But if it's pro-Trump, if it's anti-Biden, just bury the fucking thing immediately. Get rid of it. Don't even mention it, right? I mean, to me, I'm sitting there going like, it's so obvious at this point. It's like, I don't know, like, do they really think that Biden wins, Trump loses, and it just all goes back to normal after they spent 4 years pissing away all of their credibility? Like, all of it? Not even a shred of it's left, all of it, right? And they're already censoring people on the left. Like, they censor progressives all the time that like, argue for things that are anti-war, right? They censored Jacobin, because Jacobin's, like, a massive in terms of like free speech, because they argue, well, sure, they think everyone on the right's a fascist, but they sit there and they go like, look, if you censor all the fascists, they're just going to target us with that same censorship. They're way too powerful. And, it's like, look, what are you doing? Stop. But, they're going to censor people on the left. So now they're attacking that Jacobin magazine, right? Like, it's disgusting. Look, YouTube right now, I guess they attacked Shot from the Point or Shoot from the Point. Sorry, terrible. But God damn it, I'll take the mask away. Go ahead and use your chair. I have my Star-Lord mask on the little chair he likes to sit on when I stream. So he's just like sitting there trying to climb inside of it. It was cute, but I got to wear that on my face. So no. But yeah, no, like, all this shit is just so obvious. Like, you can't walk any of this back. You can't shove the genie back in the bottle. People remember what you've done. People remember how fucking biased you are, right? And it's like the whole thing with Hunter Biden, so many different ways of handling it. But, the Washington Post probably had the best take on this thing, and I'll pull it up when we get into it. But first, we got to talk about these nuns and how they were righteously doxed by someone on the left. Bucket's a cat. I only got cats, and they're all over the room right now. They broke my lava lamp too because they were running around chasing each other. So they're not always the best time with cats. Let's see here. I have a lot of stuff pulled up to go over, so here we go. And this story is funny because they got back at the guy immediately. So this is from Tug. Imagine doxing nuns because they support Trump. That's freaking insane, but that's exactly who progressives and many resistors have become. The world they craft in their own image filled with hate, violence, and intolerance. None of us want it. There's a lot of projection that comes from people on the left. So Peter Vroom, Convergence CEO, National Trade Association CEO, Congressional Chief of Staff, NRCC campaign school director, Congressional campaign manager, former Republican, #resistor. He gets got pretty good here. The 3 nuns attending Trump's rally in Ohio today are from the Order of the Children of Mary in Cincinnati, Ohio. I mean, at this point, it's already public. I mean, 20 people that I know I can do shit. I don't feel like I'm really doing anything here because, like, it's already out there to a ton of fucking people. But he highlights the nuns from this photo from their website, right? And he compared it with the photos from this Trump rally to basically just expose them all, right? Weird of you to take this stance as you're no fan of being outed or harassed, Peg. Peggy Ganong, for example, a Seattle-based French translator who operated a website called Perugia Murder File, told me that she became convinced that Amanda Knox was guilty after looking at a photograph and that Knox looked like the killer. The site published. So basically pointing out that, like, this person here, right? Thanks for chasing this down. They should be ashamed. So this Sherry person jumped in and basically got all over him for making that statement, right? But there's more than that. Like, it's actually pretty sad how bad it is. You're a freaking douchebag. You're a POS. Cal Kasha said, "Shut up," which I did like because, I mean, you really don't need anything more than that with this asshole. But this person with 1.3 thousand likes, okay? So think about it. 1.4 thousand people like this post, got ratioed very hard. And then this guy here gave the client list so people could contact his clients and expose what he did to the nuns. That to me is like instant fucking karma. And obviously, like, I don't think that you should go after someone's business like that. But, like, at the same time, the dude went after nuns. I'm just like, fucking karma. I ain't gonna do it, but, like, I won't be shedding any tears. Oh, damn it! Damn, even nuns aren't safe. Yep. I remember my friend sent me that Twitter and asking my opinion on it. The attacking of nuns. I hope you said that's fucked up. But yeah, no, the nun shit was just like, why are you doing that? Like, why are you doing that? They're fucking nuns. Like, can you? I don't know what to say. All right, so there was another story. And some people are like, "Oh, it's clearly a mistake or something." But let me see if I can pull it up here, because I want to cover the smaller stuff before I jump into the big political story, and then go into, like, just general pop culture. But Biden said they built the best voter fraud campaign that was all inclusive. And I'm like, how did you make that gaffe? Like, how did you fuck up that so massively? But yeah, I see all the time they talk about how Republicans parrot these voter fraud stories. That, and I was like, there's a lot of issues with mail-in ballots for sure. But, like, when the Democrat candidate is stating on record that they built the best voter fraud organization, I'm just like, we all gotta just ignore that. We all gotta pretend that's not like a factor. But Biden says in video he has created voter fraud organization. Democrat nominee Joe Biden said his team has created the most extensive and inclusive voter fraud organization in the history of American politics in a recent video. We have to put together, I think, the most extensive intrusive. So that's a statement. Let's watch the video. And if you want to check out the Fox News article on it, you can. That's just the first place it popped up when I got this.
Secondly, we're in a situation where we have put together, and you guys did it for our the President Obama's administration before this. We have put together, I think, the most extensive and inclusive voter fraud organization in the history of American politics.
Now, okay, I want to point out two things. First off, he's clearly reading off a script, right? So I have this theory, right? It's a total conspiracy theory. Someone at the Biden campaign got a hold of the script for that for that little video he was doing, and they scratched out they scratched out a word and they just put fraud in there, right? And it's like, and then he reads the script verbatim, and he's such a dumbass. He just says it and doesn't correct himself, which just makes it even better. Oh man. Karma be like, oh, you're canceling Nuns? It would be a shame if someone canceled you. And yes, I said it was fucked up to cancel the Nuns. Yeah, like, again, I don't think canceling that guy's really going to do anything. But I got to wonder what people on the right who became Never-Trumpers and resistance members, right, and still to this day stick to that shit, where do they think they're going to go? Because here's the thing. When people on the left, like the walk away movement, right, when they say, you know, we used to be Democrats, we used to be liberals, you know, we're walking away from the party. They say they're going to support Donald Trump. I don't see people on the right go, yeah, you better get the fuck out of here. This is only for MAGA. Like, no, they don't do that shit, right? They don't like mock them. They don't belittle them. But you have these like fucking Never-Trumpers. They say the most insane shit as if they'll get love from people on the left. Now they're hated by everybody on the right. Occasionally they get quote tweeted to say, look, even the Republicans disagree with what Trump is doing, right? And then they go ahead and send like the nastiest images and say, you're a fucking, you're a bootlicker too. We won't forget you. Like all this like nasty shit. So like, I don't know. But those Never-Trump people, like that asshole who doxed the nun. Oh boy. Yeah, no clue what they fucking signed on for. No fucking clue. All right, so let's see here. So I guess they released the 60 Minutes interview with Trump. Let's check over the trending tab really quick. For those of you who don't know, Trump did this like 60 Minutes interview, right? And originally there was reports like he walked out super angry from the thing because he was being asked all these tough questions, and it's like, and he couldn't handle the questions on COVID, all this shit, right? And so Donald Trump said, you know what, I'm going to release the interview so everyone can see the shit that you do, right? And so they said, oh, don't do that. That'd be unprecedented. And Trump said, fuck you. And he uploaded the 60 Minutes interview onto his official YouTube site, right? And I'm pretty sure it's on his campaign site and everything as well. But in it, he handles the COVID questions. He doesn't get upset by any of that. They're having their interview, and right at the end, I think it's like right about the end, the Hunter Biden laptop came up, and the woman who's giving the interview is just like, it can't be verified. And he's like, well, what can't be verified? The laptop. Why can't it be verified? Because it just can't be verified. And it's just like, what? Like that's your answer? Holy shit. Like, you're dumb. You're one dumb thing. Oh fuck, man. But in it, as he's talking to her, one of the producers interrupts and goes like, oh, you know, so we have 5 minutes before we have to do the thing with Joe Biden, with Mike Pence. You know, he's ready to go. And so Trump goes, I think we have all we need here. Let's go. Not confrontational, not rude, not nasty, not being insulting or a dick, and you know, slamming shit on the floor and just walking off angrily, right? But basically saying like, well, you know, you're going to take this guy in 5 minutes, so you may as well. I think we're done with the interview here. Now, you want to call him rude? I mean, I guess, but you want to say like, oh, he left because of these tough questions and because he couldn't handle the truth on COVID. Like, and I mean, I watched the whole thing, so it'd be funny, like if the 60 Minutes interview, which I'll watch later, if the official one has been like edited, because the one that Trump uploaded is like unedited entirely. It was his own staff like filming it, so pretty interesting stuff. Anyways, we can just go through this trending tab here. These super close-ups of Trump's face are extra torture. I hope they end it. Trump means your health insurance. Hey, Donald Trump wrong that greater testing is driving coronavirus caseload. Okay. If you test more people, you're going to get more cases of COVID-19. All right. This is, I don't even want to read this fact check because it's just the truth. If we stop testing people, we'd stop generally seeing a massive increase in COVID cases, because a lot of people who catch COVID do not feel symptoms that are worrisome enough for them to actually go into the hospital. They get tested, because of work and everything, oh, just make sure you do the test and everything. Don't spread, yada, yada. You can't come to work sick. But yeah, some people, they'll have it and they won't know, and you'll have other people who will have it and will just feel like a cold or the flu. Well, if you start testing all those people, like the 99% of people that catch it, right, who don't die, right? If you test every single one of those people, yeah, your caseload's going to spike. I don't get how you can fact check that and say it's wrong, but like, good job, PolitiFact. 70% of Americans are against Trump gutting our Obamacare protections against pre-existing conditions, meaning 29.9% of the U.S. population are absolute imbeciles. That's a fake number, right? Because the thing is, when you say, well, the government's going to provide free healthcare, yeah, 70% of Americans say, yeah, I totally support that. Okay, your taxes are going to go up. No. In the moment you tell them that free healthcare means an increase in your taxes, those people just go like, no. You know why? Because like 70% of Americans, somewhere close to that number, have health insurance through their jobs. So you basically just tell them your taxes are going to go up so you can pay for somebody else's health insurance. And the vast majority of Americans go, nope. And like, I think that's really funny. That means 29.9% of the U.S. population are absolute imbeciles, and the other 0.1% are barbarous, filthy rich ghouls. Like, again, the majority of the nation is not on this side. If you tell the majority of the nation, hey, I'm going to give you something for free, they'll say yes. And when you tell the majority of the nation, hey, I'm going to give you this thing, but you're going to give me this other thing, sure, people are going to be on board for it, but like, the other large part of them is just going to go like, no, I don't even need that thing because I'm already covered. Fucking stupid. Trump is lying about having the biggest rally crowds ever. Our son went to Penn State. In 2008, my husband Kevin went to see Barack Obama holding a rally, and there was well over 100,000 people there. Trump doesn't touch that. I would love to see Obama's rally size from 2008 and then 2012 and do like a little quick comparison, because he lost a lot of support at the end, and I think Trump's like got the same level of support or even more now than he did in 2016. Norah O'Donnell is doing what the MSM always does, frame every single question from Republican attack lines. Kamal did a good job handling the ridiculous line of questioning, 60 minutes. Kamal is trash. I'm so glad Trump teased it for the last 3 days. It just tripled the viewership for this disaster. What a fucking sociopath. Like, it's not as... It's like been on YouTube for like a week now. Like, I already saw the fucking interview. CBS even complained about it, and people are like, "Oh, they're going to be sued. They're going to sue Trump now." Oh, fucking stupid. Trump actually thought releasing his unedited 60 Minutes interview was going to make him look good. Instead, it backfired spectacularly. Well, the Daily Beast said it, so I'm just going to press X to fucking doubt all over that shit. All right. I've been distracting from the main story for a little bit, so let's hop into it. Actually, let me read these. Fact, he won. I think Trump did win the final debate. Like, a lot of people said that Biden came across as defensive, vague, not very good terms. So is that why my state's ballot boxes are being burned down? Oof. Wait, are you from California, Kurogani? Because I heard like someone burned down ballot boxes, which is insane. If they cancel dogs, we riot. Who's going to cancel dogs? Kai, where'd you get this shit from? Who's canceling dogs? She cops an attitude with him, so he gets up and leaves, or something like that. The thing is, she had an attitude with him, like from kind of like generally the start of the interview. So I wouldn't say that. It's literally they're talking, right? And the producer interrupts and says, "Hey, so Vice President Mike Pence is going to be going on in 5 minutes." And then they go, "Yeah, so you're good to keep going." And then Trump goes, "No, I think we got everything we need. We got everything we need. Yeah, let's go." It wasn't like a nasty walk off, and that's how the left was like portraying the damn thing. And so Trump was kind of like forced to go ahead and release it. And if he hadn't, they would have edited it to make it look like Trump got snappy and pissy and bailed, and they would have made fun of him for it, right? Now they're sitting there saying, "Well, it's a win for us anyways." Like, these people are just fucking trash, I swear. I am from Washington State. Ugh. Sorry. I'm just kidding. I don't know why they burned down a ballot box, but I did see a story in California where they did that too. People are making fake ballot boxes in areas. Damn. Well, I mean, there's your voter fraud. We always say, like, that's clearly fucking voter fraud, isn't it? Like, I guess you're frauding someone else. It's not like you're pretending to be someone else, but like, maybe they are. Maybe that's why they're burning down ballot boxes. I don't know. Fucking crazy ass people, dude. Crazy fucking people. All right, let's see. Which story do I want to jump in first? How's this? So after this Hunter Biden stuff dropped, this is probably the most telling thing for you, that Biden is fucking terrified of what's been coming out. With 9 days until Election Day, Biden has no in-person events today, and his campaign has called a lid, per Puller, Katie Gluick. Biden has one virtual event on his schedule, a concert this evening, at which he is slated to deliver remarks, but not take questions. Even if he did, they wouldn't press him on it. So, like, I don't know why he's fucking hiding. But that's got to tell you, the information's got to be really fucking bad for Biden, who's not been pressed on this at all, who has media outlets just coming out to cover up the story, is sitting there saying, "I don't think I should do any live in-person debates because it's going to look bad." Oh, man. Oh, wow. Okay, so there's another story. Oh, whoa, this is a big one. Shit. Okay. So let's see here, because I want to cover here. I think this is probably a good one to read there. So this is primarily talking about how they covered up the story on the grounds that, it was inappropriate. They didn't have permission. They didn't have authorization. The standard for when leaked, and also like how outlets are kind of like downplaying and covering it up, I believe. But the standard for when leaked info is inappropriate remains elusive to me. The public interest standard was reasonably clear and made sense to me. But there seems to be new requirements focused vigorously on how the leaked info was gotten and who got it. The how the leaked info was gotten standard is itself very elusive. It seems to say that where law breaking was involved, it shouldn't be leaked, a kind of fruit of the poisonous tree analysis. But law breaking is often involved in info leaked to the public agencies, or info leaked from public agencies. The who got it standard is more clear. It seems to say only U.S. citizens can get and share information with the U.S. press. That rule is easier to apply, but also seems wrong. I like this, though. Let's see some of the responses. It's a chain of custody issue. The likelihood that some or all of the material's disinformation increases geometrically if the source is tainted. Okay. There are no requirements. The only requirement there have been our public interest verification and where it came from, like how it was obtained. You and Ecker and Greenwald conveniently ignore that nothing has been verified. Nothing has been verified. This is 2 days after someone on the email chain verified, like came forward and says that they were involved in the scheme. Even Biden's own campaign surrogate said nobody is questioning the authenticity of the emails. You and Glenn Greenwald conveniently ignore that nothing has been verified. Fucking dumb. But like, can you really blame them? They see it being censored everywhere and they just walk along and they parrot absolute bullshit. Fucking dumb people. Fucking dumb people. It isn't always decided by the editorial board by factoring validity of source, public interest, and honestly political calculations of publishing institution. Is there a reason to pretend not to understand this? I love the excuses. I do like this though, because this I think is actually a very fair statement. Okay, but the problem is it only relates to one aspect of the leaks that have been coming out. I think the primary inappropriate thing is the personal videos, pictures of Hunter Biden. There's absolutely no public interest in releasing that. It's just revenge porn. The videos, yes. The photos, no, because the photos came with the laptop and they're supposed to be there to verify, hey, we only got these photos because they are part of this laptop and nobody else has these photos. Now, the sex tapes, yeah, that constitutes revenge porn. So like it's a fair-ish statement, but like they're kind of skipping over what the actual issue is. How about this one? Just more about the cover-up and the reasons behind it. Let me get it ready. The excuse offered here by this NBC reporter for not covering the Hunter Biden emails is 100% bullshit. NBC reported 3 or 4 stories with me from the Snowden archive in 2014, even though NBC never had access to the archive. They reported it by seeing the docs I shared with them. So this is from the Snowden thing. And you can see he's actually named here, the 2014. Documents taken from the National Security Agency by Edward Snowden and obtained by NBC News details how British cyber spies. And Glenn Greenwald saying, like, they didn't obtain it. I had it. I just showed it to them. So British spies have developed dirty tricks for use against nations, hackers, terror groups, suspected criminals, and arms dealers that include releasing computer viruses and spying on journalists. Documentation from the NSA by Edward Snowden, yada, yada, yada. So just the purpose of this is to show, like, NBC, right? Down here. Reminder for your uncle. The press can't cover Hunter's hard drives because we don't have access to it. This isn't a WikiLeaks thing. One guy has access to it. He wouldn't give it to us. Now he's in quasi-hiding because he got caught in a hotel room with Borat's daughter. There you go. There you go. Not only is he telling you something completely false, he's then trying to deflect that Rudy Giuliani was in the hotel room. And now you know why there are sex tapes of fucking Hunter Biden out there. I do like this, though. Apparently, like, Jack Posobiec, like, has been saying, like, look, I have the information. I've offered to share it with people, and you're refusing to talk about it. So I don't know. Oh, hey, Rev, what you doing, dude? Didn't know you was streaming. Yep, streaming tonight. We stream Sunday through Thursday, except last time Sunday through Wednesday, except for last week because of the debate. So we didn't do Wednesday. We did Thursday instead. Let's see here. So I know I'm probably behind on comments here, guys. I'll keep going. I do have to say it. Super chats I will read immediately, though. Because I'm greedy like that. And this stream is totally not going to be able to get ads put on it. You already know. We're talking about Hunter Biden sex tapes. What in God's name are you talking about, you clown? The AtNat Pulse has been reporting endlessly, including images and emails from the tribe, and you're more than welcome to come and look at it yourself. If you're going to carry water, be honest. Don't be a lying twerp. Damn! Is it possible? This is from fucking Mark Cuban. This is great. Is it possible to FOIA the search warrant that would be necessary for the FBI says they have the laptop, dude. Should we file a FOIA request? Have you filed a FOIA request? I don't know. Why would we file a FOIA request? By the way, Borat's daughter. Oh, man. Fucking, this is great. Is asking the Biden campaign whether the emails are authentic or not an option. Decent people don't discuss random accusations or ask random questions. Fuck you. The past 4 years are proof that is not true at all, you assholes. Or I guess maybe it is true because like these people aren't decent at all. Oh man, everyone needs to learn the difference between investigating and reporting. Fuck off. I do love this. I do love it. 15-year-old daughter was doing the shirt tuck. I love just how fucking pathetic these people are. But that's Ben Collins of NBC News. Totally a reliable source. Okay, so we have a couple other things related to this. And let's see here. What would be the best one to start with? Okay. Let's see. Okay, how's this? So Matt Taibbi, if you don't follow his Twitter account, the guy does not like Trump at all. He's generally very negative about Trump, but he's also very negative about the Russiagate conspiracy theories. And he'll argue with people back and forth on Twitter. Like they'll say shit to him and he'll immediately comment on it. Name something that wasn't publicly available information, the Steele dossier, that turned out to be true. Remember that the Horowitz report had something to say on this. You're arguing in bad faith, Matt. The gentleman said much of the Steele dossier has been corroborated, not all. This is like name something that was... Why the publicly available qualifier? The whole point is to gather information. You can't do that. You can't do that. That is to take without authorization, isn't it? Fucking, I love this. The meetings they lied about. The plans for Trump Tower Moscow. The prostitutes. Most of it. None of it. Oh, man. I think the Trump Tower thing was true. But, like, it wound up not being anything that was actually in record. Like, it was a casual conversation or something. But whatever. Well, seriously, whatever at this point. But let's see here. Like the P-tape, so much of the Steele dossier has been verified. Why do you ignore this? Like the P-tape, 19% stake in the Rosneft deal to Carter Page, the secret network of Russian pensioners operating in the U.S. and paid through the non-existent Miami consultant, the 5-year cultivation plan, the meetings between Michael Cohen and hackers in Prague. Yeah, remember, that was the BuzzFeed thing that got brought up earlier. When BuzzFeed ran that story, and then it was like, no, it's not true. He's just keep falling down the rabbit hole. Do you feel the same way about people who reported the Steele material? Any journalist stupid enough to address the laptop story without severe caution, gives tawdry providence, ought to quit and go to work in a car wash. The flow of information has become so politicized by an increasingly brazen union of corporate press and tech platforms that it's impossible for American audiences to see news about certain topics absent mountains of propagandists contextualizing. And there you go, all the propagandists who were contextualizing, commenting at him. I saw this too. So let me just pull it up. Because remember, people are really going after Twitter and Facebook for the way they've been censoring people talking about this stuff. Really wild to see Silicon Valley professional media alphabet agencies and Dems assemble into a giant grotesque Voltron in real time while telling everyone that the other guy is the hegemonic, overwhelmingly threat and doe-eyed naives buying it. A right-wing offensive is underway to discredit social media companies just days before the election. A right-wing offensive. Okay, I guess if you believe in the freedom of speech, that freedom of speech is now officially a right-wing thing. So if you support freedom of speech, you are officially right-wing. There you go. And a little bit more, this is specifically related to the Steele dossier. Now remember, the reason why the Steele dossier is important is because in getting the warrant on Trump, what they basically did was they used a source, right? And they're supposed to back up that source's claim. They used the Steele dossier to back up that source's claim. Then in the Steele dossier, the verification there was that exact same source. So the source they used originally was also the source in the dossier, meaning the FBI never had any actual confirmation for anything that they were doing. they double dipped. And if you just dug even slightly into it, you would have been able to see it. But of course, the FBI wasn't trying to investigate the truth. They were trying to bury Trump. You thought, okay, so I thought he was a paid lackey of the Washington Free Beacon and Fusion GPS. Go figure. You thought that because you read another in giant pile of media errors about that story. Their corrected story still says that Fusion GPS was a firm initially hired by the conservative Washington Free Beacon to do opposition research on Trump. The fact that he didn't pen the dossier until the funding changed seems like a distinction without a difference. It completely changed the story. It means Steele Project was never funded by the Beacon, and his sole employer for those reports was the Clinton campaign by way of Perkins Coie. So the fact that he didn't pen the dossier until the funding changed seems like a distinction without a difference. No. The fact that he didn't write up the dossier until somebody else paid him to. Seriously? I guess that makes sense to nobody. All right. So moving on, there's more out of the laptop. And this one is referring to a payment made. Let me hit pause before we watch this. There is a payment made to Joe Biden of like $200 million as like a gift from the mayor of Moscow, his wife, right? Something like that. I don't believe it went through Hunter. I believe it went directly to Joe. But breaking, Hunter Biden associate reveals $200 million invested by a Russian oligarch. This is what they received from the Moscow mayor's wife. So this money, like nobody denies that, Biden got this money, right? But they've just considered it like it was a gift. It was a gift, like $200 million. That ain't no fucking gift I ever seen.
In the final stages of the 2020 campaign, and October surprises are in the air. One such October surprise has arrived here to One America News, courtesy of a trove of emails relating to Hunter Biden, the son of presidential candidate Joe Biden, and his business partners. These emails come to us by way of independent investigative journalist Matthew Tierman.
So walk me through this material.
I was put into contact with Bevan Cooney directly through a source that I had met years ago in Chicago. And he had reached out to me at the end of September and said that he is in the federal facility where Bevan Cooney is. And he said, Bevan wants to go public. And I told him that I know you and that you had worked with Peter Schweitzer in the past, who obviously Peter Schweitzer had written the book literally on Burisma. And he introduced me to Bevan. And Bevan sent me his login. And he said, I want, and with written authorization saying, I want you to go through my emails and make these things public and transparent.
Tierman explained to us that he was authorized access to the email address of Bevan Cooney, a former business associate of Hunter Biden and Devon Archer, who has since been incarcerated. Cooney says, according to Tierman, that he felt like he was the fall guy and wanted to come clean.
Bevan Cooney.
So, and this is very careful, right? You have to acknowledge that this person is in prison, right? But because I already know the argument that people on the left will make. He's only doing it to receive a pardon, yada, 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 yada. This is the second person to verify the story, right? Now, at this point, if you were responsible and you worked in media, you would either look into the facts and try to debunk it, or you would report it. Regardless, you'd report it as where the facts take you. If that means that it turns out to be all bunk, you'd report that it's all bunk. Turns out it's true, you report that, and you report anything else that you find, right? But at this point, even with two separate individuals verifying that Joe Biden was involved in pay-to-play politics, right? And even though anyone with like a half a functioning brain cell, not entirely, but literally just half a functioning brain cell, understands our politicians make a fuck ton of money when they enter into office, right? They're still saying that none of this has been verified and they cannot talk about it. Just, as a sign that just how biased and, the total bullshit that these people just spew out regularly. But yeah, so that was breaking. Let's see if there's any other update from Jack. Because sometimes he got stuff, sometimes he's just talking about how much he loves, Orange man. The Hunter laptop is the biggest story in the country, and we aren't allowed to talk about it. Breaking Hunter Biden associate realized 200 million. Yeah, we just saw that. Biden to travel to Ukraine. My guy is his dad. The White House put out a press release that Joe would be traveling to Ukraine the day before this email. Not sure who. Okay, well, let's see. So this is, okay, here's an email where the son of VP Biden tells his partner to buy a burner phone from 7-Eleven or CVS while outlining his plans for Ukraine. The contract should begin now, not after the upcoming visit of my guy. So this is the whole email. Buy a cell phone from 7-Eleven or CVS tomorrow, and I'll do the same, right? So this is going over steps, right? So I have to go to Houston, yada, yada. Poroshenko appears to be the likely next president. Determining our team's relationships with him is important. He is credible with the West and by all accounts, a true reformer by UK standards. So they're discussing Ukraine here, right? And if we go through it, so the date, April 13, 2014, right? So Hunter is stating about how his guy is going to be, people are saying that's his dad, right? Now, here's the thing. This is done just before, and this article is April 12th, 2014. Biden to travel to Ukraine. So around the time that email was sent, like we're talking about days, Biden took a trip out to Ukraine. And during that trip, got a prosecutor fired, supposedly for not looking into Burisma. And then the next prosecutor stepped in and shut down the dormant investigations of Burisma. I mean, like, look, here the issue right now is Trump says, like, I wanted Ukraine to do what they did because it looks corrupt, right? And if they find something, they find something. They don't. But it looks corrupt. Why shouldn't they look into corruption, right? And so Trump got impeached because they said, first off, he doesn't have the right to demand that anyone do anything, right? In the most hyperbolic way. He doesn't have the right to withhold money. But we did that. We literally withheld $1 billion until they fired a prosecutor. Now, was it for a very long time? No. Was Trump's withholding of money a very long time? No. The issue is, after this guy gets fired, right? Nobody investigates that company. His son still works for that company. And now we have emails showing that, Biden was very much aware of what was happening in Ukraine. Now, maybe that would have still been the foreign policy. That's fine. But it looks very much on the surface like he took he was taking money and he used his influence to shut down investigations of Burisma. So we know that the head of Burisma is completely fucking corrupt. And there's no secret there, really. There's just none. Now, let's see here. We have The Sun. I think The Sun is a decent article to take a look at. We're not going to really read through most of it. Here. Laptop leak. Alleged Hunter Biden sex and drug tapes posted on Chinese website. Linked to ex-top Trump advisor Steve Bannon. Oh, no. It's an October surprise. Suck it. I just wanted to point that out, right? Because the idea that anyone is surprised by this is laughable to me. I don't want to play this video, but I want to just focus on the headline here. And if you want, check out Tommy Z's channel, SFTP News. We got a strike warning. We got a strike warning for nudity that we never displayed, Hunter Biden. So they talked about they talked about the stuff going on with Hunter Biden, right? And so they struck his channel for nudity. And I guess they also struck his channel for the thumbnail here, right? Talked about Hunter Biden, so YouTube strikes my thumbnail. Tommy C, like, he's pretty well known, 42.5 thousand subscribers. But he's well known within commentary, right? And they attacked his channel over talking about the Hunter Biden thing. The suppression of information here, the cover-up's going to be worse than the crime. The cover-up's really not from the Biden campaign. The cover-up is from mainstream media and big tech. right? And they're so desperate to cover this stuff up, they're really making it look worse because they're making it look like Biden has something to hide. They can go say, well, we're not doing it because it's all fake, clearly. Then look into it, provide the evidence that it is fake. Stop doing this thing where you're just like, well, it's Russian disinformation. Actually, let me see if I can find the Washington Post story, because that will be a great way to end the politics stuff. This is from Glenn Greenwald, so let me get his information pulled up over here. This is his Twitter account, and I want to scroll down to kind of earlier today. Instead of confining the way so many people go to work at the ACLU when they don't believe in, are firmly hostile to its core function and founding principle, one finds the same bizarre dynamic at other institutions. What is this? Is the traditional ACL view of free speech still viable? No. Former policy for ACLU. Fucking. Oh, wow. Agitated liberals reach out. This is why I'm always amused by the claim that only certain kinds of people get vile online abuse, or it only comes from certain factions. Also amused at having Antifa in your bio, then urging military murder a journalist to wow. Don't think I should look at that. I do think it's cute for these people to go, I'm Antifa, Biden Harris 2020. Like, okay. I don't know if it still works, but I think if you go to Antifa.com, it still goes to like the Joe Biden official campaign site. I don't know who did that, but they're fucking brilliant. Yeah, it still works. So type in Antifa.com, you get Joe Biden's campaign site. It's great. All right, so let's see here. Oh, this is Jacobin getting censored on Facebook because, of course, they are. Okay. Here is the tweet from Glenn Greenwald. One of the clearest and most important sentences you'll read, showing how U.S. media really works, from Washington Post op-ed by @RidT. This guy over here. We must treat the Hunter Biden leaks as if they were a foreign intelligence operation, even if they probably aren't. Perspective, insisting that the Hunter Biden laptop is fake is a trap. There you go. I mean, oh man, why are you so right-leaning, Crow? Are you gonna get canceled? I mean, yeah, go for it at this point. I'm just like, this is so obvious that, like, Rev, because I know you don't have the same politics as me, but like when you look at this, it's pretty fucking obvious. Like the idea that Biden didn't engage in pay-to-pay politics in his 47 plus years of enriching himself on The Office. I mean, to me, it's just like, you gotta be like just willfully fucking lying to yourself at that point. But the lengths they go to shut down stories is insane. And when you have someone, I get it. It's an op-ed piece, right? It's not like a hard news thing for Washington Post, but they really run an op-ed in which they're saying that insisting the Hunter Biden laptop is fake is a trap. Why? Because if you say it's a fake, it's not fake. It's not whatever. But saying like you must treat the leaks as if they were foreign intelligence operation, even if they probably are. So like you're going to openly admit that you don't think that they're fake, but you're going to spread a conspiracy theory to what? Fuck with people? That's insane. That is insane. Oh no, Brev, I know you're kidding. I just meant like I wanted to know if you felt differently from me there, because I read that line, which they're basically saying, yeah, we know it's not foreign disinformation, but we're going to pretend it is anyways, right? So I don't know, like that to me is just nasty. That to me is fucking nasty. I don't know. I that's why I keep saying, like, we can end the Donald Trump presidency in 9 days, or 8 days, I guess, at this point. But it's not going to change anything for anyone, right? Everybody already believes they're full of shit and they're goddamn liars. Like, you're not going to just gain your credibility back after all the work you've done to piss it away. It's sad. Let's go into bounding into comics. Just read some pop culture stuff, some generally fun things that I think are kind of It's a Kotaku thing, honestly. It's just a fucking Kotaku thing. Because, if there's anything worse than a journalist, it's a fucking games journalist. Kotaku blames the underlying current of bigotry among gamers as cause for recent departure of Xbox Brazil host. Kotaku has claimed an underlying current of bigotry. Fuck off. It's really hilarious. You have politics is real world Twitter. I guess that's true. But you have this whole thing where they say, well, Hispanic people can also be white and have white privilege, right? So I'm looking at this woman who's Brazilian, and I'm just like, huh. If only they had that standard all the time and not just selectively. But, if it wasn't for double standards, they wouldn't have standards at all. Woo! The controversial firing of Xbox Brazil video host Isadora Brazil. Or Basil? Basil. Basil. When I announced my new job at Xbox Brazil, I suffered harassment of all kinds from people saying that I didn't play X or Y and that I wasn't worthy of my job, to rape, death threats, and aggression for exposing tense situations, said Basil. Thanks to the help of my family, boyfriend, and friends, I learned how to deal with this, but it didn't mean that it was not happening anymore. I'm no longer an Xbox Brazil host. Okay. Portia Brazil then revealed that thanks to all these harassments, Microsoft decided that it was for the best to sever ties with me as a host, so I wouldn't be more exposed to situations like these that happen. I respect the decision made by Microsoft. My love for them will always be the same as always. Thank you, Brazil concluded. What's an interview with major Brazilian video games news outlet The Enemy. Brazil stated Xbox Brazil always talked with me to help with the situation remain calm. I know that even though she toughened up with reading it, yada, it's a feeling of impotency, right? Said Brazil during the interview. I opened up to the brand with my heart and did more than necessary, and I love my job. I lost my job because people don't know how to respect each other. Okay. Across Brazil's announcement, Microsoft Brazil released a statement stating that Brazil was let go due to some changes in our strategy regarding content that came originally from Brazil, resulting in less channels of communication. In a separate statement, IGN and Microsoft further clarified that last week's programming changes are unrelated to any harassment directed towards Brazil. Okay. The exact reason for Brazil's termination may never be fully known to the public. Kotaku found the incident came as no surprise to anyone who spends any amount of time in the gaming community. In their coverage of the story, Kotaku hyperbolically claimed that an underlying current of bigotry that's existed in the gaming industry and gaming culture for decades has, in the last few years, exploded to a geyser of unremarkable blah, 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 blah. Buzzword. An outspoken contingent of video game fans grows feral as soon as women becomes involved in the hobby. I used to remember G4, and there was this one host who did like a video games news segment on G4, and everybody pretty much loved her. Like, nobody had any issues with that woman. To my recollection, this is a while ago. G4 has been dead for probably like a decade now. But I don't like this argument that, it's because of women. No, I mean, generally, you get a dude up to talk about this shit who has no clue about fucking games, and you get the same backlash. So maybe no rape threats, but definitely a little stabby pokey with sharp objects. And again, none of that's good, but like, I fucking hate Kotaku because I was just reading through, like, I read through the Avengers cast getting targeted with like a shit ton of hate recently. G4 was fucking garbage. It was okay when it first started. It just developed into shit and then just got canceled. Yeah. I mean, it had some good times. I remember there was this one show where they basically pretended to be like fighting across all these different MMOs against like this big evil bad guy. It was cute. It was cute. I remember G4, OMG. Yeah. I can't remember the name of it. It was like, I think the host's name was Tom or something, but little off topic there. Let's get back into it. According to Kotaku, this alleged bigotry is a truly global problem and will only continue to fester, pushing out every woman, every black person, everyone who isn't cis heterosexual white dude if the culture doesn't fundamentally change. I can actually help them out right now. Drop the fucking buzzwords and you'll be fine. Generally speaking. Contrary to Kotaku's accusations, while bigotry and harassment are undoubtedly problems in the world of video games media for both male and female personalities, these two unsavory qualities are neither a defining trait nor the common link between members of the gaming community. Unless we're talking about Call of Duty players. They nasty. Most of the time when players are outraged or opposed to statements or content, it is not due to the immutable traits of those responsible for the production of the content, but rather the product's poor quality and lack of respect shown towards consumers. Yep. When Twitch users took issue with the hiring of Steph, firstly Steph Lord, to their safety council, while some took issue with her transgender identity, most were outraged that the streaming giant hired an individual who publicly stated that she believes a lot of gamers are white supremacists. The backlash towards the various female World of Warcraft authors, including Madeline Rue, was not based on their gender, but rather their virulent and racist tweets towards people with white skin. Oh my God. Multiple World of Warcraft authors, including Ella McKinley and Catherine M. Valenti, expressed racist anti-white beliefs. Yeah, I believe it. I mean, I tell you, yeah. Despite her accusations to the contrary, former ArenaNet lead game designer Jennifer Scher did not receive harassment for simply existing as a woman, instead receiving backlash due to her continually combative rhetoric, such as calling on companies to ignore demands from our players and accusing an innocent man of vehicular assault. Holy fuck. Yeah, so, look, I'll put it like this. When we covered the Chris Pratt situation, right, and... Oh, no, it's never okay. Rev, can we not agree on anything? Okay, anyway, seriously, though. When we're talking about, like, receiving harassment or something, right? So when Chris Pratt was being attacked, he was being attacked with some of the nastiest shit, right? And then people came to the defense of Chris Pratt, and they were also attacked in the nastiest way. We read through a couple of tweets that were like, kill all... You know, we're saying like kill all, and then they follow that up with white people. I got to be careful so it doesn't get clipped, right? But they're saying that towards the white dudes, right? Because they dared speak up against something they believe in vehemently, that Chris Pratt is a white supremacist because they're fucking, remedial little bastards. I did enjoy Ninja Warrior. Ninja Warrior was fun. I watched G4 when it had the OG Ninja Warrior. It was like fucking subbed. That shit was great. Crow, we can agree when we talk more. Okay, that's fair, Rob. So, what I really want to point out there is, like, does harassment exist? Yes. Should people receive death threats or threats of violence? Absolutely not. Is that the vast overwhelming of gamers and they only care about racial? No, look, fuck off with that shit. And the problem is, you could look to one example of that maybe being the case. The issue is you have all these like completely anti-white people, like these fucking just hardcore racists that say things like how they want to kill, how they're going to like do that to all the white people and shit like that. You have like incredibly fucked up things that they've said about how they need to ignore their player base, fuck their player base, and all this other shit. Right. And it's like, that's the reason why you receive all this shit. It's got nothing to do with you being a woman. It's got everything to do with you being a massive cunt. Not that you have a cunt, but the fact that you are a massive cunt as a person. But I don't know, guys. Quick stream tonight. I need to get up early for work tomorrow, but I got out most of what I wanted to talk about. And before we head out, let me just thank everyone on the Patreon page for continued support. We'll be back tomorrow with a much longer stream as always. Monday. Oh my gosh, Rev. I forgot. Rev is our newest Patreon, and he's finally here in the chat. So Rev, thank you. Rev, Alexa Graham, Luna Karenina, Geeky Pixie, Steve DeLive, Jess, Kat Thomas, Julian Sand, Dagger, Allie, Mr. Holmesy, Warren Corruption, Katie Imbro, Lauren S., Rabbit Town, Chris Anonymous, Jonathan Marilla, Origami Maria, and Devil Hunter Nero. thank you all for supporting the channel. Every little bit that you do helps. And remember, we are now monetized. So if you have any issues with the ads being run on the videos, you let me know. And we'll work something out, because I do still want to get the channel growing. But please like the content on this channel, share it with your friends, and make sure you subscribe with the notification bell turned on. I will go ahead and see you here next Monday. Bye-bye.